guys, welcome back to my channel. I am taking out my braids today. I'm kind of obsessed with these braids. These are jumbo braids that I got done by Hair by Half about 2 weeks ago. I've never done this size of braid before and I really like it. Yeah, but it has been 2 weeks and I am going to be going into a new style for an event at the end of the month, which I will actually be talking about in this video as well. So here's what we gonna talk and twist about. So there was this period of time, a stretch of 3 to 4 weeks where I didn't respond to any comments. Not intentionally, time just kind of escaped me, and before you knew it, it was 3.5, 4 weeks later and I hadn't responded to any comments. So I spent a day, basically an entire morning, going through and responding to basically a month's worth of comments. I have my retainer in, by the way, so forgive the lisp, but yeah, I basically went through responding to comments, and so I thought that I would come and respond to some of them, I guess you could say live in a way, just because I noticed that people are asking me for updates on certain things. Now, if I'm being completely honest, a lot of the questions I get asked can be answered with one word, and that is coronavirus. I think that because it's been, what are we, almost at 2 years now? Since it's been so long that we've basically adjusted to living through this period of time that really changed the way we go about our day-to-day lives, because we've gotten used to this new norm. People forget that it is in fact a global pandemic that like affected the entire world. So yeah, and by the way guys, this is my signet ring. It just has my initial on it. Yeah. So as you guys know, I went through a separation July of 2019, and I talked very often on I talked very often on Instagram Live about the fact that I could not wait to have a divorce party. And as you guys may or may not have noticed, there's been no divorce party, and the reason there's been no divorce party is because there has been no divorce. So to answer the question, you know, did I get divorced? Have I gotten divorced? Why didn't I get divorced, etc.? Basically, it stems down to the fact that it's a panoramic outside, y'all. So in the province of Ontario where I live, you have to be legally separated for 1 year before you can file for divorce. Now, I was separated July of 2019, so my 1 year would be July 2020. In case you guys forgot what was happening July 2020, it was a global lockdown that shut down all non-essential businesses, services, and government buildings, which included family court. The family courts were not and are not accepting any matters that were deemed non-essential. So they were only accepting cases that involved custody of children, which of course is deemed essential because the kids need somewhere to stay. And they were also accepting cases that involved, you know, domestic violence and abuse. So because I was seeking a simple divorce, none of those applied, and so the courts were not accepting simple divorce cases. And so that's pretty much it, y'all. I was not able to file because, you know, the pandemic affected every avenue of life, including the court system. Ontario is finally in phase 3 of reopening the province. And so the courts are now starting to accept cases, and I'm hoping that they can get through the backlog that they have since the shutdown, and that my case can be processed as quickly as possible. There's nothing more that I want than to be officially divorced. Now, I will say, if you wanted to get a divorce in Ontario, tried to get a divorce in Ontario, or even looked into getting a divorce in Ontario, you would know this information because Google is free. and you have access to the same information that I do. However, if you're the type of person that just sits around and waits for a woman to clean up your mess of affairs that you left behind, of course you would have no clue and be, and I quote, surprised that I haven't filed for divorce yet. Which, to be honest, is not surprising to me at all. So let me make it clear. I cannot wait to be divorced. Do not get it twisted. Ain't nothing left here. Anyway, so that is the update on my divorce. You guys will definitely be the third people to know once I am officially divorced. The first person being my nigga. The second people being my girls, and then the third being my YouTube family. I can't wait to tell you guys. I can't wait to share that news with you. And I can't wait to throw my divorce party. And I don't want to upset the pick-me's, so just so you know, I am in no way celebrating the act of divorce. I think that the institute of marriage can really be a beautiful thing as well as a gift from God. What I will be celebrating though is my divorce, personally, because who wants to be legally bound to a fuckboy? You know what I mean? Not me. Since we're on the topic of weddings, I guess I will talk about another question I get asked a lot about, which is, when is Mama Daley getting married? Why didn't Mama Daley get married? Is Mama Daley still getting married? Etc. And the answer again is, it's a panoramic outside, y'all. It's kind of hard to have a wedding when you are not allowed to have gatherings. We've been in lockdown. We've had a stay-at-home order. We have not been allowed to have indoor or outdoor gatherings larger than 5 people, and then it went up to 10 people, etc. But yeah, that is the reason why Mama Daley has not had her wedding, is because of the lockdown that we've been in Ontario. We've been restricted. All of our indoor venues have been restricted, and so she was simply not able to hold a wedding. But I do have good news for y'all. Now that we are in phase 3, we are actually allowed to have gatherings of up to 50 people. And so she will be having a wedding at the end of July. Hopefully you guys see some of that in a vlog. Of course, I love sharing events and parts of my life with you guys. The only reason I say hopefully is because obviously I am involved in the wedding. So I'm hoping that I'm able to get some footage for you guys. I think it would be really great to capture. Sometimes with those types of events though, you are really busy or you just forget to pick up the camera, etc. So I'm just hoping that I'm able to capture a little bit of the day for you guys. I'm sure you guys would appreciate it. I'm sure you guys would enjoy it, and I'm sure Mama Daley would appreciate it as well. I just don't want to make any promises because, weddings can be a whirlwind of a day. So fingers crossed. But yeah, it's definitely something that Mama Daley has been looking forward to, and it wasn't something that she was willing to compromise on by, for example, just going to the courthouse and getting married, just the two of them. She found love late in the game. She wants to be surrounded by her kids, her grandkids, her church brethren, them, and she wasn't not gonna let that happen. So we're all over the moon happy for her and looking forward to finally being able to celebrate the big day with her. So the other thing that I do get asked for updates on is my hair. Back in March of 2020, I threw my birthday / 100K party, and I mentioned that I wanted to cut my hair off after the party. My party was on March 14th, 2020, and no word of a lie, March 15th, we went into lockdown. It was crazy. It was literally the last party that me and my girls and many of you were able to attend before lockdown, I am still so glad that it worked out, that I was able to have my sort of last hurrah, pre-pandemic hurrah. But with that being said, because everything shut down, that included salons, which are non-essential. And my plan has always been to go to a skilled stylist for my haircut. I don't have an interest in pulling out the clippers at home and cutting my hair on my own. So that's not something that I was willing to sacrifice, similar to how, you know, Mama Daley wasn't willing to sacrifice her day. I wasn't willing to sacrifice my salon experience, big chop experience. So yeah, that's the reason why I didn't go through with my haircut, is because the world shut down. We are now, like I mentioned, in phase 3. Salons are reopened. So now I can finally go back to thinking about my haircut. I'm definitely going to be researching salons in my area, and deciding who I want to go with to cut my hair. You know, my hair was going through a really rough time back then, because that's just how my body reacts to stress. Like, my hair falls out. It was coming out in clumps. It was really like it was high-key devastating to me, which added to my stress, which made it worse. Now that I'm, you know, in a much better place, of course, my hair has recovered, but I am still interested in cutting my hair. Like, the thought of cutting my hair never left. And plus, I think that that's even better, to be honest. Like, I think a haircut would look even better now that my hair, you know, has filled back out, as opposed to a haircut on super thin hair. If you guys have any suggestions on Toronto salons, then definitely let me know. Like, Toronto salons that do really good haircuts on natural hair specifically, because I'm not interested in like relaxing my hair for a haircut. I just want a nice low cut. I'll keep you guys posted if anything changes, if it happens, when it happens, etc. But yeah, so far that's my plan. And to answer the question why I didn't do it, salons were closed because it's a panoramic outside. So going along those same lines of like changes that I wanted to make to my person, my body, I do also get asked about surgery, because this one's gonna be wonky right now, because I did a whole video talking about the fact that I wanted to get cosmetic surgery. I was interested in getting a BBL at the time, and I did actually go for a BBL consult. And after consulting with the medical team and doctor, I was deemed to be not the best candidate for a BBL. And it was recommended to me that I not do it because I would have increased risks associated with that particular surgery because of my physical makeup. I'm not going to go into details because I did go into details in the consult vid, so you guys can definitely check that out if you're interested. I know a lot of people asked me why I didn't get a second opinion, or, you know, suggested that I do get a second opinion and that I should just do what I want. But it really confuses me why people do that when there's an entire series dedicated to people who do that called Botched. You know, like, why would I seek a second opinion when I got a valid medical opinion from a world-renowned licensed plastic surgeon who's had a practice for decades, as well as his medical team? Like, of course I'm gonna listen to that. It would be stupid, and no shade to anybody who does, but it would definitely be stupid to seek out a surgeon who would do what I want because one surgeon said no. I understand the medical team's reasoning. I agree with their reasoning. And so I decided to opt out of that particular surgery. They did recommend an alternative surgery to me, which is called Lipo 360. You can look that up if you want details on it. But I also agree that that is a better option for my physical makeup. And that's what I decided that I would want to get. Now, of course, after my consultation again, why didn't I do it? The world shut down. Yeah, the world shut down, and that includes non-essential surgeries, which would be elective cosmetic surgery. Toronto hasn't been in a full lockdown the entire time. We have sort of come in and out of lockdown or restrictive states. So there was a period of time where surgeries, elective surgeries were reopened, like, you know, doctors were able to practice them again. However, at that point, it became a question of safety. Like, did it make sense for me to, in the middle of a pandemic, put myself in a hospital, do you know what I mean, for an elective surgery when I don't need to be there? And my answer to myself was no, it didn't make sense for me to do that. If you guys followed my vlogs around that time, you know that I sold my home. I sold my previous home, my matrimonial home, and I started house hunting. And so house hunting became my priority, moved up to the top of my, list of priorities, and plastic surgery moved down. And so I focused my time and my resources on finding a home that was perfect for me and my lifestyle. And then I found her. I found my home. I'm currently in my home. So I found my home, and then my priority became making the home perfect for me and renovating, which you guys know I love a good renovation. Like, I literally do it in every home that I purchase. This is my fourth. So that moved to the top of my priority list, and I really took my time with it. I love doing it, so I enjoyed the process of renovating and furnishing my home. Yeah, to answer the question why I didn't get plastic surgery is because lockdown. Do I still want to get plastic surgery? Yes, I do still want to get plastic surgery. I am interested in getting lipo 360. However, during the course of the pandemic, like I mentioned, many things changed for me in my life and moved it down my priority list. So I will get to it when I get to it. I am moving down my list of priorities in life, current stage of life right now. And once I get to plastic surgery, I will get to plastic surgery, and I'll definitely let you guys know and carry you along on my journey of, physical change. We're now in phase 3, I believe, of reopening the province because 70 to 80% of Canadians are now vaccinated. And so it's been really nice to sort of slowly make our way back into the world. I was able to do a cottage weekend with the girls, which was amazing because we just have, been in lockdown. I'm definitely looking forward to the first vacation we're able to take. I'm hoping that happens early 2022, if God spares life. In the meantime, you'll definitely see a couple road trips, a couple events now that we're finally able to gather. And I went and got my nails done. I got my eyebrows touched up, microbladed. So yeah, it's been nice. I was always a bit of a homebody, so for me, I didn't really miss the going out in terms of the pandemic and being in lockdown. What I missed really the most was just being able to hang out with my people. As you guys know, I have an incredible circle that I just love being around, my family and friends. So for me, that was the biggest hit, not being able to hang out with everybody and have everybody over and all that stuff. And that's it. I think those are the main 4 things that I get asked about is divorce, Mama Daley's wedding, my big chop, and plastic surgery. So yeah, hopefully that answers all your questions, inquiries about what is going on, what's the update, sis, spill the tea. But like I said, believe me, I have no intention of leaving y'all in the dark. I cannot wait to update you guys on each and every one of these topics. So with that being said, I think I'm going to jump in the shower and wash this. Thank you so much for joining, hanging out with me, keeping me company, and I'll see you guys in the next video.